Hello, my darlings. In light of a text conversation I had with a friend earlier, I am not going to be on camera for this specific video, at least not the way that I normally am. I had a conversation with my friend because she messaged me and was like, yeah, I really don't like a lot of these video essays on YouTube. And I was like, same, fam. However, I don't make the same kind of video essays, let's be real here. But I don't like them, and they annoy me, and I hate how they look. All look the same, all have similar editing. Everyone who does them uses the same, literally the same exact shot. Every time, same exact gear. I don't like it. I think it's lazy. And they normally don't even say anything that interesting, so I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, I really badly wanted to talk about Gone Girl, the book versus the movie. And you know what? Actually, maybe I should call it the audiobook versus the movie, because I listened to this book on audiobook. I did not, in fact, physically read an actual copy of the book. But I really, really thoroughly enjoyed both. The audiobook is the one I just got. I just got it off of Audible. The production on that was great. I loved it. I loved the voice actors. I loved that they used actual professional voice actors. One was doing Nick's part and the other was doing Amy's part. So they were, obviously it was a man and a woman, because the book is constantly kind of shifting. It's jumping from what's going on with Nick to what's going on with Amy, etc. All right, so I believe this book was published in 2012, and the movie came out in 2014. This is one of my favorite movies of the last 15 years, in all seriousness. This is one of the best movies to have come out in the last 15 years. I love it, probably because Gillian Flynn, the woman who wrote both the book and the script for this, did just that. She not only wrote the book, but she also wrote the film adaptation of her own book, which ended up being really cool. And I'm actually not even going to say that I like one better than the other, because I do very much enjoy both of them. I really, really, really enjoyed the audiobook. Honestly, I was pretty bummed when it was over, because I was like, oh man, I don't have any more of that to listen to, because it was so much fun. But hey, I've got 2 other books she's written that I haven't read yet. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the book versus the movie. So, in the book, it's very clearly established that, why don't I give you guys a little rundown here for you uncultured swine who I know for a fact haven't seen this, or heard of it, or seen the trailer, or read the book, etc. So, Gone Girl is a story of a married couple, Nick and Amy Dunn, and what happens is, at the very beginning, inciting incident, if you will, of the book and the movie, is Amy goes missing, and everyone suspects that her husband, Nick, killed her. It's actually not clear I would say it's less clear in the book that, just at the beginning, that Nick didn't kill Amy. It's more obvious in the movie that he did not, in fact, kill her. But in the book, you're kind of guessing a little bit more. Obviously, I've seen the movie, so I knew a lot of what was going to happen. And if you haven't read this or you haven't seen the movie, stop watching this right now and go fucking watch the movie, you uncultured swine. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. God, pissing me off. Watching my videos, listening to my videos without even having seen or even heard of the subject material. Get the fuck out. I'm serious. Anyway, but I appreciate you nonetheless. Okay. So that's the plot of the story, is that everyone thinks that Nick killed Amy. And it's a really high-profile case, because in the book, Amy is the daughter of these authors who wrote these really successful kids books called Amazing Amy. Um, I think they were kind of supposed to be like Ramona. They're like the Ramona books. They're like the Amber Brown books. They're just these really wholesome books about this girl, and her parents obviously embellished and faked a lot of things in the books that were merely based on their daughter. They were not factual. But anyway, so it's a really high profile case, and immediately there's press attention. Immediately there's cameras everywhere. Immediately Nick is in hot water. And in the movie, he's played by a very beautiful and very talented. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm forgetting his name. Holy shit. What is wrong with me? Ben Affleck. Sorry. I knew that. He's played by the very beautiful, very talented Ben Affleck, who I like a lot. And I'm going to go out here and just go out on a limb here and say that I didn't think Robert Pattinson had it in him to be such a trash Batman, that I would say that I actually much prefer Ben Affleck as Batman than I do Robert Pattinson. Okay, I said it. And you have it on record. And that is partially the director's fault, but I'm saying it. Anyway, I've said it. I really like Ben Affleck. And then Ms. Amy Dunn is played by Rosamund Pike, who is so phenomenal. So phenomenal. I love watching her. I love watching both of them. It's just such a treat. And to make matters even better, everyone, the movie is directed by David Fincher, who is my fave. But let's get back to what this whole video is about, which is the book versus the movie. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed the production of this book. I loved the voice actors. I loved that they clearly put a lot of effort into it and that it was good. We are going to circle back to this because I always say I'm going to circle back to things and then I don't. You know what? We don't even need to circle back to it. I can just say it right now. I wish that more effort was put into audio productions. And I could do some, digging here and find some old-timey radio productions. But, now that we have the technology and podcasts are actually really popular, I wish that more effort was put into the production of audio dramas, honestly. I've tried to listen to a few on Yoto, which are obviously designed for kids, but they're trash. I hate it so very much when they're trash. They're just garbage. They're just straight garbage, okay? They're condescending to kids, like I always say, and they need to do better. But anyway, so in the book, it's very clear that Nick hates Amy. Their marriage has just completely gone to shit, and it's very difficult for them to even be together, and that's pretty apparent in the book. So in the book, Nick didn't ever fully resort to actual complete violence, though he did it mentions him using Amy sexually, which is violent, but Amy kind of allows it. You guys have to read the book, okay? I can't tell you everything. I can't do it. Not in this one video. But he never actually physically put his hands on her in the book. He does in the movie, though, which I think is really interesting because I think that was a conscious decision on Gillian Flynn's part, because things just get a lot more real when you actually have real human beings acting things out, which is super interesting to me. I gotta watch the movie. I haven't watched it in a little while. Another thing that was in the okay, well, before I get to my next point, the book is very cool because you learn a lot more about both of the characters. I think Amy's backstory is especially interesting in the book. I think her like whole thing is just it's really really interesting. It's such a detailed book, and it's implied that she's a sociopath because like she says that she like makes up these personas. She actually does in fact create these scenarios in which to better manipulate people. And I don't know, I guess I can relate. I'm not a sociopath though, for the record. But it's really cool because like Amy really was successfully framing her own husband for her own murder for a time there. Obviously, you can't completely frame someone for that without a body, and a body did not, in fact, show up because you got to watch the movie. But that was just really, and she's just the most brilliant person. She's so smart. She's always 10 steps ahead of everyone else, just about. And it's just really, really fascinating to listen to on an audiobook, and it's really fascinating also to watch in the movie. In the book, Desi Collins, Amy's estranged boyfriend from high school, he seemed a little bit more likable. I'm just not really a Neil Patrick Harris fan. I don't find him entertaining, nor do I find him attractive. He kind of had a smaller role in the movie, though. So he was just more fleshed out in the book, I feel. He wasn't super likable, but he was just a little bit more likable. Obviously, that's easier to do when your character is more fleshed out. However, I love the scene where Amy kills Desi in the movie. It's just really fun to watch. In the book, Nick's dad, was more of a significant part. He had Alzheimer's and was like living in a home, but it was cool to see the connections there with Nick, because Nick sucks. Like, okay, he sucks and he's terrible, but at the same time, he's like very okay. He sucks and is terrible, but isn't that most men? Isn't that most people? Let's be real here. Isn't that most people? Don't most people suck in some degree? Check, come here. You're kind of bugging me. Do you want to come over here or do you want to stay over there? Because you can't do both. It's up to you. You're interrupting. We will go OUTLATER. Not right now. Not right now. The dad was horrible in the book. He had Alzheimer's and he was really horrible. He was super mean to everyone. He was a real problem at the rest home, and that's kind of established in the movie, but not as much as in the book. And it's just shown that like because Dad was a misogynist, voila, Nick is also a misogynist. I like Go a lot too. She's a lot of fun. I feel like now that I'm recording this, I'm getting more and more out of this. I love this, but I feel like Go in the book obviously she was more fleshed out too, but it was kind of more apparent that she really like based a lot of her personality on being a fraternal twin to Nick, and she really like acts masculine a little bit, right? Anyway, so the main detective, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, in the in the movie, the actor who portrayed Detective Boney. But I love her. She's awesome. She's great fun. It was interesting because in the book, I feel like we didn't quite. I feel like we actually got more out of Boney in the movie than we did in the book. But in the book, it's established at the end that like Boney actually feels sorry for Nick. I don't really remember what happened with her in the movie. I think she did kind of feel sorry for him, but like, listen, you can't do everything with either medium. You can't do everything in a book, and you can't do everything in a movie. Like, it's just not possible. But I really, really, really thoroughly enjoy both. And I can't wait to watch the movie again, even though I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm going to watch it a bunch more times because it's that much fun to me. I was waiting and waiting for my favorite line from the movie to be in the book. But honestly, I don't really think a lot of lines that were in the book exactly were in the movie. But it's okay. So I was waiting and waiting for my favorite line to be in the book, and it didn't happen. That's okay though. My favorite line in the movie, I'll tell you what it is.
I'm the cunt you married. The only time you liked yourself was when you were trying to be someone this cunt might like. I'm not a quitter. I'm that cunt.
Favorite. Oh, it's so good. I recommend you read the book or listen to the audiobook and watch the movie. Because it's great. They're both great fun, and Gillian Flynn is brilliant. And let me try to like give you a more succinct message that I think this story, the book and the movie, is trying to convey. It's gonna take me a moment though, because I actually didn't have this part of the video planned out. I think what both the book and the movie are trying to convey is obviously how much a woman can mess up your life, but also how much you yourself can mess up your own life. Because if Nick had divorced Amy or told Amy he wanted a divorce, like when he actually started wanting one, then he wouldn't have gotten himself into the predicament that he ends up in at the end of the book and the movie. So him purposefully not being honest with himself in his own life to his wife fucked him over. Like, yes, obviously Amy is part of the problem. Yes, obviously Amy is supposed to be seen as evil because she is. But like, Nick really walked right into that trap. And then he was surprised Pikachu face about it. You know? I'm trying to think of any other messages this story is trying to convey. Amy talks about being the cool girl. A lot of the things that Amy mentions within this movie are all kinds of shit that I was on when I was a radical feminist. Like, well before the fact. Okay? She talks about being the cool girl. She talks about doing so many things to please her husband. She fucking writes a diary. She writes a fake diary for 7 years. in order to try and frame her husband for this. Like, it's pretty amazing. I guess that's why they call her Amazing Amy.